How's it going, everyone? This is the David the Past Show, and welcome to the David the Past Show episode. It is January 1st, 2013. New year, more videos. Let's get started. Today we're going to cover a very, interesting topic when I was in middle school in math, or in algebra, I should say, and it's called factoring by grouping. Let me write that down. Factoring by grouping is a really unique way of, gathering terms together to find out, x and y variables. And we're going to try so with a couple of examples. Let's try with this one. It says here, okay, x to the fourth power minus 14 x squared plus 45 equals 0. Now, in this situation, I may not have to really group per se, but we're going to start by factoring with the basics. First off, we can split this x to the fourth power by two terms, x squared, because x squared times x squared gives me 4 x to the fourth power. I see positive, so what gives me positive? Negative and negative. And factors of 45, that would give me 14. What about 9 and 5? That makes sense. So we multiply negative, you remember in the FOIL method, let me just write that on the side, FOIL. Well, this means first terms, this means outer terms, this means inner, and this means last. And this is what we do in the FOIL method. But I'm just going to use this way of multiplying the two outer terms and the two inner terms to get this middle term right here. So I'm not going to really use the FOIL method in this case. I'm just going to multiply the outer terms and the inner terms to get what I want. But that's just so it's when you're doing trinomials and binomials in algebra, it's very important that you remember the FOIL method of distributing your terms, inside of these two situations right here. Sorry about that. I just want to point that out to you, or point it out at those who forgot about the FOIL method. I'll actually bring a video explaining what that means. But anyways, we'll multiply x squared and 5x to get negative 5x squared, and negative 9 times x squared gives me negative 9x squared. Add those both together, I'm going to get negative 14x squared. And this is exactly what I want here. So these two terms work. So now let's bring this term down. We have x squared minus 9 equals 0. Minus 9 on both sides to get x squared equals 9. Square x. Now find the square root of x squared. I'm going to get x is equal to positive or negative 3. That's one solution. And the next solution I have here, I have x squared minus 5 equals 0, and x squared is equal to positive 5, and square root on both sides. X is then equal to plus or minus the square root of 5. 5 is not a perfect square. So you see, in this example, I didn't really have to use the method of factoring by grouping, because I just found common terms in each of these two variables. You see? Alright. Let's zoom out here. Excellent. Perfect. Bear with me. Let's go with our last example. Zoom in. It says here we have x to the 8th power minus 26 x to the 4th power plus 25. Now, in this situation, same case. I'm not necessarily grouping, although I'm grouping two terms to find the middle term. We're kind of grouping, but I'll explain more about that in this series. So let's call this factoring by grouping number 1. Grouping by number 2 will be coming shortly. So here we go. Well, first thing I see is this 8x, and I can group it into two terms. X to the 4th power here and x to the 4th power here. I have a positive sign here, so that means I'm going to have a negative sign here. What gives me positive? Two negatives. And factors of 25, that give me 26. What about 25 and 1? That looks like it, right? 25 and 1. And same situation. Multiply the outer terms, multiply the inner terms. Outer terms, I get negative x to the 4th power. Inner terms, I get negative 25 to the 4th power. Add those both together, I get negative 26 to the 4th power. And that's exactly what I want, because this term equals this term. Pretty neat, eh? So I take this term here, bring it down, x to the 4th power minus 25 equals 0, because both of these terms are all equal to 0. X to the 4th power minus 25 equals 0. Minus 25 on both sides. And square both sides by x to the 4th power and 25. I'm going to have x to the x squared equals 25. Or you know what? I could either take this right here and let's see. Yeah, I think this is the way I should do it. Negative, okay, positive and negative, and 5 and 5. Because I have in 4, I'm gonna just go deeper into this. I'm sorry. This is actually I'm actually breaking this up into more. So right here, do the same thing, process that I have up here. We're just breaking this down. 5x to the 5x squared, negative 5x squared, and 5x squared gives me 0, which is right here, 0. So I'm gonna bring this down. I'm running out of space, but that's okay. 5x squared plus 5 equals 0. X squared is equal to negative 5. Square root of negative 5. X is then equal to plus or minus the imaginary number of square root of 5, because we're square rooting a negative term here. And in this case, I have x squared minus 5 equals 0. X squared is then equal to 5 when we minus 5 on both sides, and the square root of x, I'm having that x is then equal to plus or minus the square root of 5. So these are my two solutions to this equation up here. And that's called factoring by grouping. Of course, this is part 1 to factoring by grouping. If you have any problems or any way not understanding this clearly, please hit me up, comment, subscribe, all that type of stuff, or leave me some hit the like button if you liked it, and like I said, I plan to be doing more of these. This is the David the Past Show, January 1st, 2013. It's a new year. I want to do some more new videos for you guys. Hit me up. I hit you up. Remember, comment, subscribe. Please subscribe. I ask you to please subscribe. And stay tuned for Factoring by Grouping number 2. This is number 1. Number 2 is coming. Thanks. See you soon next time. Bye, guys.